Hello friends and welcome to the channel. Today I am doing something different from usual. Today I am gonna tell you a story about a ship that got disappeared mysteriously on the sea that never got found. So let's begin this story. The story starts from renowned archaeologist Dr. Alfred Hayes, who was the lead researcher on a ship for the research expedition. On his expedition, he had reported finding a most unusual artifact before ship's mysterious disappearance. 1 year later, after the ship's mysterious disappearance, his son receives a mysterious package from someone who claims to have known Dr. Alfred Hayes. Inside the package was a strange artifact like nothing he has ever seen before. Apparently, Dr. Alfred Hayes has three such relics or artifacts. Two of them he was carrying with him, and one he sent to his son. When his son was holding the artifact in his hand, he got the strange sensation that this artifact was trying to say something to him. He was thinking that maybe he can use this artifact to find his father, Dr. Alfred Hayes. Ellen Hayes somehow found a cargo ship that was taking the same route as his father's ship. On his final voyage, after onboarding the ship, he paid off the captain and artifact was securely stored away on the ship. No question was asked about it. After some time, the ship departed. All was going well in the ship, but sometime later, the ship encountered a massive fog bank in its path. So the ship has to sail through this mysterious fog. The fog was also thick that it was impossible to tell if it was the day or night. The ship was sailing through the fog for a long time, but fog hasn't shown any sign of dissipating. The crew that was on deck becomes restless after some time, so captain ordered that time on the main deck should be limited to necessary work only. Later that day, the navigation equipment and the ship engine stopped working suddenly. They tried their hardest to fix the ship and the equipments but were unable to fix it. So they sent a distress signal as a last hope. Slowly, all machinery began to die on the ship. Even the clock stopped at the same time. But it seems that all hope was not lost. As we received a radio signal from a rescue team, but it seems that there was some technical issues as we were unable to transmit our voices or getting any response from them. The fog was so thick that we weren't even able to see the rescue helicopter. We tried to fix the communication but were unsuccessful in our attempts. After a while, our rescue team gave up upon us, but as they were returning, they said the strangest thing. They said that they had a clear view all the way to the horizon and didn't see any ship, but we are in a fog bank and so large fog bank that anyone can see from the distance. It's unmissable. So why the rescue team couldn't see us? Soon, crew member hope began to change into disappear. The video has been silent ever since. We tried to contact anyone but to no avail. It feels like that we are in a completely different space. Our only option is to wait or fix the engine somehow. Sometime later, some of the crew members began experiencing chest pain and have been sent to the sick bay. Doctors weren't able to find what's causing it, even after the extensive medical facility on board. Later, more and more crew began to complain of the chest pains and other suffering, so the doctor quarantined the patient as it could be contagious. Everyone was started losing hope as things began to look dire. Things started worsening on the ship day by day. After examination of patients, doctor reached the conclusion that the patient spent more time on the main deck and reached conclusion that the exposure of the fog can be the reason of this sickness, as none of the lower deck crew members have gotten sick. So the captain prohibits anyone from going to the main deck as a precaution. The patient's symptoms got worse and worse, as what started as a simple chest pain soon developed into a strange hardening of the body like calcification, until the patient weren't even able to move on their own. More and more patients began to die due to the sickness. But strange thing is, some sick bodies or deceased bodies from the morgue started to disappear. After some time, doctors were able to find how disease progresses into the sick patient. In first stage, the patients start to suffer from intense chest pain. In second stage, color of the patient began to change. In third stage, patient's joints start to get stiff and patients weren't able to move on their own. In fourth stage, as seen on X-ray by doctors, patients start showing calcification process of internal organ that starts from the lungs and then spread throughout the body. Soon patients start to look like a stone. In the last stage, patient become a stone statue and die. The severity of illness depends on how much time did the patient spend in the fog or main deck, with the quickest death happened to 2 days, while others have lived for up to 2 weeks. After some time, the crew members started to disappear without a trace. We tried to find them, but it seemed like they just vanished into the thin air. If that wasn't enough, statues began to appear randomly on the ship, and the strange thing is they will almost look like the patient that was gone missing from the morgue. At first they were few in number, but at the end of the week they were in dozens. No crew member known where they came from, but some crew members said that they have seen some statue moving. Sometime later, one crew member saw that one statue killed one of the crew members when he turned away from the statue. But he somehow managed to escape from there. On the next day, when evacuating the quarantined areas, I whistled to get the crew's attention, and one of the statues whistled back to me. Despite being a stone statue, the fatality rate is getting high in the ship as statues begin to killing crew members. But one thing helps us survive is whistling, as they also whistle back. After some time, there were very few of us who had survived. One day, as we are making way to the bridge, we saw something huge in the dark corridor that was looking for survivors. Some day later, we started hiding, but he found us one by one and killed most of us. And now, very few of us are alive. While we were hiding, we saw that creature did something strange to the bodies. Sometimes he marks his victim with the pair of coin over their eyes. After that, we don't know what happened to them, but heard some bizarre sound like twisting something. When we came out of our hiding place, all bodies were gone without a trace, at least most of it. We sometimes heard loud screeching sound, but when we go investigated, we found nothing. Sometime later, we decided to escape to the lower deck. with few survivors who were not infected. We have disabled the flight elevator so we won't be followed. At least it's enough to let us catch our breath at least for some time. We were able to find some canned food, but we don't know how longer we will be stuck down here. Hopefully until then rescue team will arrive and we will survive. But before that, we have to do all we can to survive this. If this disease is airborne, we should turn off the fan on this floor to stop the sickness. We tried to get into the control room, but it was locked. Gresham was holding on the key, but he went to investigate the boiler room and hasn't returned yet. Sometime later, Gresham returned and he was terrified. When we asked what happened to him, he told us that when he got to the boiler room, Luke stopped him from going inside and said that he saw something. At first, I thought that one of the statues must have been made up here. But as I approached the door and opened the door, I could hear something like loud screeching. As soon as I heard that, I closed the door and escaped from there as quickly as possible and locked the door behind us. He told us to stay out of the boiler room unless we have no choice. I just hope that the crew who has gone down before us in the cargo area are safe. Sometime later, our numbers were decreasing fast. We don't know what's happening, but the skittering and screeching sound in the wall has gone louder. Gresham and other who has gone to investigate this hasn't returned yet. It's been days since they have gone, but hasn't returned. We came across a box of flare today, but we have to use it wisely. After all, this is all we have to stop whatever down here at bay. After some time, all the survivors have been killed, except me. And now I am all alone in this room. All the crew members disappeared one by one, and I knew who took them. It was a crew member who was one of the last surviving members beside me, who told me that he saw what happens to the dead bodies with coins on their heads. They slowly turn into spider-like creatures, and that's what skittering sound was all about. He barely escaped from there, but few days ago he also disappeared, and now I am all alone. The skittering is getting louder and louder. I don't think I am making out of this alive. All I can do now is sit here and watch as the last flare burns out before my eyes. 4 years later, the ship that was lost has re-emerged. A rescue team sent to investigate the ship and to look for any survivors. All attempt to communicate with the ship has failed. As the rescue helicopter arrives, they are welcomed by the bad weather and a storm. There's no place to land the helicopter, so rescue team decides to send one of their team members, namely John, to investigate the ship. John finds out that ship gate has been locked to the lower deck, so he finds the key and go to the lower deck. As he goes down the stairs, he is greeted by nothing but an eerie silence. But even after 4 years, the ship was in very good condition, which is very odd. After that, John messages his team members about the lockdown and confirms their suspicion that ship has been locked down, and they decide to raise the lockdown by going to the superstructure, and maybe someone in superstructure will be able to tell what happened to the ship. As John moves further, he came across a ton of newspaper about another missing ship that has taken the same route as this ship and also has gone missing and never been found. This ship was carrying the famous archaeologist Dr. Alfred Harris, who also has gone missing and never been found, with entire crew. John eventually reaches the workshop of the ship and there he saw many bodies lying around. He also found another note that reported two people has gone to destroy the communication equipment who hasn't returned yet and supposedly dead. After some time, John receives another message from his team members about fuel leakage in helicopter and they are returning to their base to fix it. Until then, John is on his own. Until then, they will be out of range. After some time, John came across a dark hallway and at the end he thought that he saw someone, but as he approached, he disappeared. After that, John came across another note which mentioned about the statues and how they killed the crew members and how they survived through whistling as the statues react by whistling back. After some time, John came across a mysterious door which when he opened, a huge monster started chasing him. John started running away, but in the end it catches John and throws him, but luckily he survives as he lands on the piles of dead bodies, which must have been killed by the monster. There he came across a man in the container which then asked for his help. And the mysterious man asked him to get the shipping manifest from security room and he will help John to escape through the ship. I think that he is supposedly Aaron Harris who is finding his artifact through shipping manifest. Coming back to the story, as John returned with shipping manifest, the mysterious man has already been killed. After that, he tries to go to cargo hold 2 where elevator to superstructure is, but he finds out that cargo hold 2 is flooded and he needs to drain the water first to enter it. After that, John fixes the elevator of cargo hold 1 and go to the engineer deck to get the water pump as replacement part. There he encounters another mysterious figure, but he gets trapped in the room with him. But after some time, all things become normal again, as if nothing happened. After that, John somehow finds the replacement part to fix the water pump and get on the elevator, but as the elevator descends, the elevator suddenly stops in the middle floor, which is machinery floor. In the middle floor, he somehow gets off the elevator and tries to restart the elevator, but elevator doesn't start and he finds out that elevator doesn't have power. So he starts searching and eventually he finds himself in the room where many of the survivors have been hiding in the past. He also finds out through the note that some creature is killing people in this floor. But it's not a statue, but something else. As John tried to find a way to fix the elevator, he saw something crawling in the vent. Soon, John fixes the electricity of this floor, but as he starts to make his way to the elevator, a giant spider-like thing starts chasing him. He somehow gets into the elevator and presses the button and escapes. After that, John reaches cargo hold 1 and fixes the water pump from the replacement part that he got. After that, he finally enters into cargo hold 2. As he enters, he finds himself in the dark. He soon finds the elevator to superstructure, but suddenly a mysterious figure pushes him into the elevator. There he finds out that someone has removed the elevator drive chain, so John tries to find the drive chain to fix the elevator. After that, he came across a video camera that has video about how a spider creature came to be. John saw in the video that bodies with coins soon mutated into spider and start chasing and killing the survivors. After some time, he himself gets chased by the spider creature, but he somehow managed to escape. After some searching, John was able to find the room where drive chain storage key was, but suddenly he received a message from his team members. They messaged him that they have fixed the fuel leakage and returned. John also tells them that he is very close to lifting the lockdown on the ship. His team members say in reply that this ship is heading to a very large fog bank. John stops his team members from going into that fog bank and explain everything later. He then makes his way to room where Dwight Jane was. He quickly fixes the elevator and presses the elevator button to come. But suddenly all lights go off on this deck and John starts hearing some eerie noises and feels like that something is coming towards him from the darkness. Then as the elevator door was about to close, he saw a glimpse of that mysterious figure again, who looked like a crew member. At this point, John starts to think that maybe it was some crew member spirit who was trying to help him. As he is thinking all that, elevator arrives at superstructure bridge, but he finds out that he needs level 3 security clearance keycard to enter the bridge, so he makes his way to deck A where keycards are made, and there he finds out the reason for why bridge was locked. It was because many crew members were trying to lift the lockdown without permission. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, he encounters the giant creature again. John quickly hides in a locker room and manages to escape somehow. After that, John somehow managed to make a new keycard to get into the bridge. As John was making his way to the bridge, the floor underneath him breaks suddenly and he falls down on a medical deck. There he saw the real horror of this ship. After that, he tried to exit this floor but was unable to because the door was locked by many locks. So he started searching for the keys. During his search, he finds about how people were turning statues. After some searching, he was able to find all the keys and was able to exit. After exiting, he got another message from his team member that ship was about to enter the fog bank. John quickly heads to the bridge and enter it and lift the lockdown. After that, he runs towards the helicopter and finally able to escape. As the helicopter was flying away, John sees that the mysterious fog bank was engulfing the ship once again. Now the question is, why did this all happen? Is this because of the route or something else? Where did the fog came from and where did the creature came from? In my thinking, it's not happened because of the route, but due to the artifact. The artifact called the creature and the artifact also created the fog. When the ship passed through the fog, maybe the ship got transported to other dimension where time flow is not normal. And maybe that's why all of the machinery on the ship, even clock, stopped working suddenly. The artifact was the reason the creatures was on the ship. Creatures were finding the artifact and killing any survivors they could find. The artifact was the reason all of this happened to the ship and the members. And maybe the creatures couldn't find the artifact, so they still roamed the ship even after 4 years. So this is the complete story of the ship of what happened. So thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video. Please like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.